Hello and welcome, my electrolytes. How y'all doing today? Now we're gonna do a video on the real deal called Coon behind Montel and Sons of four Chicago teams with the also wonderful catching Another Day in the Coon Train. I never heard that on my channel before. Wherever I heard it. Oh, it's one of my wonderful videos when I first did a video on Sensei Ashimitsu. I'm gonna show you guys the next one to let you know what I'm talking about. Because I've heard that tagline before. People just use that nowadays because to say, if you don't agree with me and conform to the same narrative that I do, you're a coon, you're this, you're that, you're a porch inward, you're a house inward, you're a field inward, you're this and you're that. Basically, that's what they're going to tell you. And the like to dislike ratio on this video is not good, but I'm going to do the video anyway and slam it for the piece of garbage that it is. So let's go, guys.
What's up? It's your man, the real deal out of the city of Gary, Indiana with another video. What I want to talk about is Montel Williams' coon ass.
Hey my name is Electro212. Welcome to my channel. And why are you calling Montel Williams a coon? Just because he slammed the 14s for a crime that they actually did commit. It was a horrible crime. You think he's just gonna say, just give them a pass because they're four black teens? You know what? Whatever. They didn't do nothing. No, that's not how the real world works, dude. If you think that's how the real world works, then you're living basically like in a Candyland scenario where everything's just fine and everybody gets away with every single thing anybody does. That's not how the actual world works. People have opinions, and people are going to say those opinions whether you like it or not.
Slamming the four Chicago team. Look, Montel Williams, as I said all the time, Montel Williams ain't nothing but a damn coon.
Like I said, he has his right to slam those four Chicago teams for kidnapping, tying up, put duct tape over the man's mouth, forcing him to drink pea water. He has every right to slam them for what they did. He's not going to let them go unchecked and say, hey, what you did was wrong. I'm not going to just let it scrape on by me like water off a duck's back. I'm not going to let that scrape by. And you're basically calling him a coon for that? Are you kidding me? You're just throwing around the word coon around as a baseless meaning. It means nothing now. You're throwing around and says, hey, you're a coon if you don't agree with the same issues that I do. Like I said in the beginning, is black people will mostly call you a coon if you're black. That if you don't agree with them and conform to the same things that they do, it says you must conform to the same thing I do, or else I'm going to call you a coon, a porch this, a porch that, a field this, a field that. And the thing in the beginning, yes, that was a real comment I actually got in the video. Yeah, because I didn't agree with like her certain narrative, and I might get called the same thing here because like I don't agree with this guy's narrative and letting these 14s pass and like giving them just like a slap on the wrist or something. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not gonna let them do that. And man, I'm not gonna give these 14s like a pass. I already made a whole video on the whole thing condemning them for what they've done. It was horrible, the most horrible act ever. And I hope they get locked up for the longest time, my man. And you need to think about that as well.
But the problem with Montel Williams and the rest of them coon ass niggas is the fact that they are the most dangerous type of coon.
The reason you call them most dangerous type of coon is because they have a different opinion to you and like they don't stick with a certain narrative. You know, like you get in a script within a movie or something like that, you have to stick to that script the whole movie. Well, basically, this guy's calling Montel Williams a coon because he didn't stick to the whole script during the whole thing. He went off script and like did his own thing and did this and did that. Basically, he's calling him a coon because of that. Like, you got to stick to the narrative, or else I'm gonna call you a coon, or like I said, a house this, a field this, or whatever. Basically, you're saying, oh, he's a dangerous coon because he has a different opinion and he's influential. I'm like, are you for real right now, dude? What land are you in? People have opinions, and they're not always gonna line up to yours. Wake up and like Say this is a real world. People are not gonna always align with your opinions. Stop being in your little protective bubble. For real. Wake up and like smell the coffee, dude. People have different opinions than you. Come on. It's the real world.
That it is out here. Because first of all, they're television personality. They radio talk hosts, and they're actors. You dig what I'm saying?
No man, I don't dig what you're saying, dude. I don't agree with you. I don't dig what you're saying. Not at all.
And these type of coons is what white America depend on to justify the brutality of the police department. The mass incarceration of young black men and black women.
Oh, so it's basically the police's fault that black men and black women are going to jail. No, it's not their fault for them committing crimes and breaking the law. Let's just place the blame on the police department. Let's just use them as a scapegoat. Are you serious right now? If people, a person commit a crime, no matter what the race is, it's their fault, and it's not the police's fault at all. Yet they arrest them.
You dig? Racism on the job, racism in education, and all the different tentacles.
So when you say racism on the job, meaning like, oh, it's the white man's fault that I don't succeed in my job or in education. Look, my dude, I'm about to give you like a speech right here. It's nobody else's fault but your own if you don't succeed in what your field or what your job is. It's nobody else's fault but yours, and you need to stop using the white guy as like a scapegoat to your own personal crappy feelings that you have that you didn't succeed in a job or an education. A job and the education is right there. All you need to do is grasp it, take it, and work hard to keep it. And do that. That's what you need to do in this world. It's nobody else's fault that you didn't keep a job or you didn't finish school or you didn't finish this or accomplish this.
Of racism. These niggas co-sign that shit. And white supremacy, they depend on these niggas, to make sure that they keep their foot in these niggers' neck.
Dude, what era or what time do you think you live in? It's not the 1950s, dude, where that type of thing is prevalent at all. It's 2017 that stuff doesn't happen anymore. Nobody puts a foot in the back of your neck and say, hey, get to work, do this, do that. No. You have freedom of choice to do that. And it's your fault if you don't accomplish anything. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. The only reason you're going to be a failure is because you chose to be a failure. You say, oh, you put the wood in the back and black people's neck. No, that does not exist, dude. Not at all. Not anymore. It's 2017, dude. You're not in the 1950s, dude. So stop saying that and stop living in a past that you were not a part of.
You know, just like Malcolm X said, you got the house nigga and you got the field nigga. The house nigga is these new niggas out here like Sheriff David Clark, Jesse Lee Peterson, Willie Huntley, and countless other bad bucks and bad wenches out here.
What the fuck am I watching?
It's like this. Yes, sir, massa. I make sure that these niggas, that they ain't gonna do nothing. If I could make it, they could make it. You just got to just lock their ass up. Get them 4 teenagers. They grown men, far as I was concerned. Get them life without parole because they hurt that poor white boy.
Yes, exactly. Give them life without parole because they did a horrible, horrible crime. Need I remind you, they scalped the poor man's skull on the top of his head and duct taped him, forced him to drink pea water. Are you kidding me? That was a most horrible, horrible crime, and they deserved the full punishment and the full weight of the law coming down on these 4 teenagers. I bet you anything, if this thing was turned around 360, he would not be just trying to justify this at all. He would be out there writing and picketing for the Justice Department to put those 4 white teens in jail for torturing a mentally handicapped black man. I guarantee freaking you.
That poor white boy. You see that? See that type of mentality? That type of mentality. That's just the way subconsciously, he's spitting it out just the same way I just did. You know what I'm saying? And we have to keep our eye on them. We have to challenge the coon in every avenue, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's publicly, a large platform, small platform. We have to challenge these niggas.
What you're saying is challenge these people that have different opinions than you and shame them for using their platform to speak a positive message other than your negative message that you're spewing over here. Sir, I can tell you without a single doubt, I can do whatever I want on my platform. You can shame me all you want. You can call me all the names you want. It's not going to matter to me at all. It's not going to bother me. That stuff doesn't faze me right now, for real. So go right ahead. And sir, I can use my platform for whatever I want. And you can go back to your platform and continue to spew your racist bullcrap.
Basically, they not niggas. They not niggas. They niggers. They.
Oh, sweet edgy comeback, bro. I'm so proud of you. Yay, you get a gold star for making an edgy comeback. Here it is. Yay, get your participation ribbon also. Yay.
Niggas. That's the way the white man look at him. He's an uppity nigger.
So basically, you're going to call them an uppity N word if they don't conform to what you do and that they're successful as well. Are you stupid? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. My. Wow.
And after they get through with Montel Williams and Sheriff David Clark and all the rest of them coon ass niggas, they gonna throw them away. Give them a case like they did with Bill Cosby.
It's nobody else's fault for what Bill Cosby did. What he did is he got himself into trouble, and he admitted to doing that a long, long time ago. So what he did a long, long time ago is nobody else's fault but his own, and he has to face the consequences of what he has done. So I don't know why you're bringing that up at all. It's irrelevant right now.
Look at Kanye West. Boy done gone crazy.
Again, that's his own fault.
And the funny thing about it with these, with these, what I call white supremacists in black skin.
What an odd thing to say.
Is that they right from the hood. Montel Williams is from Baltimore, Maryland.
So, freaking what? Just because he's from Baltimore, Maryland, and he's from like the hood, like you say, he's not supposed to have an opinion. Are you serious right now? That's irrelevant to the situation. That does not bring a varying degree on his own opinion where he's from. That doesn't should not bring a varying degree. Should not interfere and should not be a bias with his opinion at all. It shouldn't be.
His bitch ass is from Baltimore, Maryland. And his father was the first African American fire chief. So you already know what his father was instilling in him. All you got to do is work hard. You got to work harder than the white man to make it.
Yes, and that's a bad thing. My parents have always told me when I was knee high at the grasshopper, as my father always told me, um, you always have to work harder than the next person just to get where you are and just to succeed. They told me that when I was in elementary, middle school, high school, and college. He said, nobody's going to hand anything to you. You're just going to have to work hard what you got. You got to work twice as hard as the next person to get it. That's not a bad thing to instill in your children. And you saying that's a bad thing to instill in your children is really ridiculous. I love my parents for instilling that in me. I love my mom and my dad for instilling that in me. I love them for that. You about to make me cry, man. I love them for instilling that in me, and I do appreciate they did because it helped me like to succeed with school and my YouTube channel as well. I always worked harder than the next guy just to get myself out there. All I wanted to say is thanks, mom, and dad, for doing that for me, and I love you a lot.
You know what I'm saying? You instill that in your child's brain without having some type of flexibility about, the conditions and the history. They bound to turn out into a coon. And that,
What conditions and what history? I learned about like the slavery history in high school. Did that change my mind? No, it didn't. My parents, like I said, always instilled in me work hard. They always did, like I said, and that's not a bad thing. This is, oh, you have to teach them about the conditions and this and that. I'm about to tell you something very personal about myself that I never say to my YouTube audience. I am black and I am Mexican, yes, but I never let that define who I was as a person. I always said, if somebody asked me who I was, say, who are you? I said, I'm Nicholas. That's who I am. I never let it define me as a person at all. For you to say that you have to learn about conditions and to tell your child about their history and all that, and like say, oh, you're not going to make it in this world, no, that's just killing and crushing their dreams, man. Young children are impressionable. You cannot be crushing their dreams like that when they're little. That's horrible if you're going to be doing that. For real.
that's what Montel bitch ass is a damn coon.
Basically, you call anybody a coon that does not conform to the same thing that you do and like the same brainwash and racist ideology that you conform to. Good job, man. Good job in being consistent and being as stupid as ever and since the beginning. Good job in being consistent with that. You've been as stupid as ever and as racist as ever. And I hope you do see this. And I hope you do make a response to this. So I would like to see your counter arguments to my video.
But he's a dangerous coon. He's a very, very dangerous coon. These coons, these television personality and radio, these television personalities, that's black with black skin, they're very dangerous.
Basically, what you're saying is like that they're coons because like they're successful and all that for real. And also, what you're saying is
He gets up, we'll all get up. It'll be anarchy.
They're very, very dangerous. They are basically throwing those 4 Chicago teens up under the bus.
oh, throwing that blood under the bus. Oh, I'm sorry. My stupid brain thought that they committed a crime and kidnapped a poor innocent man with mental disabilities and tied him up. My silly imagination. I'm sorry. Let's just let them go free and not let them go and give them like some like candy. And say, oh, you crazy kids, for you doing that? You committing your crimes and all that. Let's go. No, dude. I am not going to give them a pass, and I'm not throwing them under the bus. And it's actually what they did. It's published everywhere. Look it up on Google and look at that video, dude. It's actually what they did. They committed a horrible, horrible, horrible crime, but a human with no empathy would commit. You cannot be serious enough, and you cannot be serious and say, I'm throwing them under the bus. No, I'm not throwing them under the bus at all. Throwing somebody under the bus would say, like, hey, Mark stole my coffee, and he didn't steal my coffee at all, and Mark's been sitting at his desk the whole time. That's throwing somebody under the bus. Throwing somebody under the bus and say, oh, they did this crime, they did that. No, that's not throwing anybody under the bus, you moron.
Montel Williams, his statement was, lock him up, life without parole.
I second that.
What about the white boy that stuck the coat hanger up the black boy? Oh, the quiet.
I admit that case was mishandled by the judge. And he gave the boy a slap on the wrist when he shouldn't have been given a slap on the wrist at all. I agree, that was mishandled. But you cannot blame the entirety of white people for what that one judge let that one team go. You cannot. That is not solid enough foundation for you to base an argument on. Yes, do I agree that mentally handicapped black boy should have gotten justice? Oh, sure, of course. But that's the judge's fault. Nobody else's fault but the judge's. And he has to live with that decision that he put down and he made for the rest of his life. Nobody else does. That's he's on his own personal conscience, okay?
What about the man that went homicidal maniac or went ham over a grilled cheese sandwich? You dig?
No, because I have no idea what you're talking about because I never heard of that at all.
You know, what about over in Chicago, the brother and sister that was brutalized, stabbed by a white mob? They quiet on that.
I agree they should have gotten justice for what happened to them. But like I said, you cannot base these two incidences around and the two anomalies that you found to base to make a solid enough foundation on. You really can't. That's not gonna hold, man. That's like trying to make a house on like wet cement. It's not gonna hold, dude. You gotta make it on firm cement, firm brick, firm wood, firm this and firm that. If you make it on wet wood, wet cement, and wet brick, it's not gonna hold. So basically, your logic and evidence is not gonna hold. Yes, do I agree? Oh, sure, of course. I'm not gonna justify that at all. But you cannot base that on the entirety of white people. The entirety of white people did that. It was just those four corrupt individuals that did that. Okay, let's move on.
They're quiet on that. So Montel Williams, coon ass nigga, all I can say is that we have to basically just charge them to the game. Charge them niggas to the game, because that's all they is. You know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about, dude? Basically, you're not gonna see him as like you're a black person because like he has a different opinion than you. That's sad of you, bro, for you to do that. And I feel sorry for you that you're gonna do that. Just gonna toss him aside. Say he does not conform to what we conform to. We're gonna toss him aside and forget he ever existed. Like for real. Shame on you, dude.
Because at the end of the day, that's a very, very isolated existence. When you throw your own people under the bus.
He's not throwing anybody on the bus. They actually committed a crime, like I told you. He's not throwing anybody on the bus. They actually committed a crime. And I will throw them as far as I can in jail for what they've done. It was heinous and horrible. And I will definitely throw them in jail and lock the key, dude. Accuse me of doing that or whatever.
And you surround yourself with white folks and marry white folks and all of that. To each his own, far as interracial. You know what I'm saying? I'm torn in between that, but it's just so too many of these niggas, man, in these, positions of power that for some reason they feel like they should just slam the black community.
They're not slamming the black community. They're slamming these poor teenagers for what they have done. They're not slamming the whole entire community, okay? So get off your high horse and stop saying that.
And we supposed to take it laying down. I'm not taking it laying down. But anyway, that's my take on Montel Williams, and him slamming the Chicago teams. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a hate crime at all. It's not a hate crime at all. But Montel, you keep on co-signing, for them hunkies. Because you going to get your wake-up call, nigga. And with that, I'm the real deal out of the city of Gary, Indiana. GI, baby.